You know what drives me absolutely crazy? Watching people throw money at the stock market like they're feeding coins into a slot machine, completely ignoring the fact that they've got credit card debt, charging them 22% interest, sitting right there, laughing at them. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has massive holes in the bottom and wondering why you're not making any progress. My name is Gaga, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, optimal investment strategy, and why most people seem determined to do everything in the wrong order when it comes to building wealth. If you're someone who actually wants to understand the proper sequence for investing your money, instead of just throwing dollars at whatever sounds exciting, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. If it ends up saving you from some expensive mistakes, here's something that might shock you. According to recent data, 1 in 3 Americans doesn't even have an emergency fund. The median amount that Americans have saved for emergencies is a whopping $500, $500. That's less than most people's monthly car payment, and it's actually down from $600 just a year ago. Meanwhile, these same people are asking me whether they should buy individual stocks or invest in crypto. It's like asking whether you should buy a Ferrari when you don't even have enough money to fix the transmission in your current car. The truth is, there's an optimal order for investing your money that can literally save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime and dramatically accelerate your path to financial independence. But most people completely ignore this sequence because it's not as exciting as picking the next hot stock or trying to time the market. They want to skip straight to the fun stuff without doing the boring foundational work that actually matters. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact order you should be investing your money step by step so you can maximize your returns while minimizing your risk. And I guarantee some of this is going to surprise you, especially the part about why your employer match should come before almost everything else, and why health savings accounts might be the most powerful investment vehicle most people are completely ignoring. But before we dive into the specific steps, let me tell you why getting this order wrong can be so devastating. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't start by picking out fancy light fixtures and granite countertops if your foundation was cracked and your roof was leaking. Yet, that's exactly what most people do with their finances. They get excited about investing in the latest trendy ETF while carrying high-interest debt that's guaranteed to destroy any gains they might make. The opportunity cost of getting this wrong is massive. Every month you delay paying off credit card debt that's charging you 22% interest is a month where that debt is growing faster than almost any investment you could reasonably expect to make. Every month you ignore your employer's matching contribution is literally free money you're leaving on the table. And every month you contribute to a taxable investment account before maxing out your tax-advantaged options is money you're unnecessarily handing over to the IRS. Before you invest a single dollar anywhere, you need to establish an emergency fund. Now, I know this sounds boring. I know you'd rather hear about which stocks are going to make you rich, but here's why this matters more than you think. An emergency fund isn't just about having money for unexpected expenses. It's about creating a psychological safety net that prevents you from making terrible financial decisions when life inevitably throws you when your car breaks down or you face an unexpected medical bill. Having an emergency fund means you don't have to sell your investments at the worst possible time or rack up high-interest debt to cover the expense. The question everyone asks is, how much should you save for emergencies? The traditional advice is 3 to 6 months of living expenses, but honestly, that range is so broad, it's almost useless. The amount you need depends on several factors. If you have a stable government job with great benefits, you might be fine with 3 months of expenses. If you're a freelancer in a volatile industry with no safety net, you might need closer to 6 months or even more. Here's what I recommend for most people. Start by saving your first $1,000 as quickly as possible. This covers most minor emergencies and gives you that psychological safety net. Then work toward 1 month of living expenses. Once you hit that milestone, keep building until you reach 3 months of expenses. This approach breaks down what can feel like an overwhelming goal into manageable chunks. But here's something interesting that most people don't realize. Recent research from Vanguard found that people with at least $2,000 in emergency savings had financial well-being scores that were 21% higher than those without any emergency fund. That was the largest boost linked to any financial factor they measured. $2,000 isn't life-changing money, but the psychological impact of having that buffer is enormous. Once you've got your emergency fund in place, the next step is absolutely critical. You need to eliminate all high-interest debt before you... And when I say high-interest debt, I'm talking about anything charging you more than about 8% annually, though the threshold can vary depending on current market conditions. Credit card debt is the obvious villain here. With average interest rates over 22%, credit card debt is financial cancer. It grows faster than almost any reasonable investment return you could expect, which means getting credit card debt while investing is like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. Mathematically, paying off debt with a guaranteed high interest rate provides a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate, which is often higher than what you can reasonably expect from the stock market after taxes. Let me put this in perspective. That's money that could have been working for you instead of against you. Every dollar you use to pay down that debt is essentially earning you a guaranteed 22% return, which is better than Warren Buffett's long-term average. The strategy for paying off debt efficiently is straightforward. List all your debts with their interest rates and minimum payments. Pay the minimums on everything, then throw every extra dollar at the debt with the highest interest rate. This is called the debt avalanche method, and it saves you the most money mathematically. Some people prefer the debt snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balances first for psychological motivation. But the avalanche method is more efficient. Here's where it gets interesting, though. There's one major exception to the rule about paying off debt before investing, and it's so important that it actually becomes the next step in our optimal investment order. If your employer offers matching contributions to your retirement plan, you should contribute enough to get the full match even before you finish paying off high-interest debt. This might seem counterintuitive, but the math is compelling. Employer matching is essentially a guaranteed 100% return on your investment up to the match limit. Even if you're carrying credit card debt at 22%, getting a 100% immediate return usually makes sense. It's like finding money lying on the ground that your employer will double if you pick it up. Here's a typical example. Your employer might match 50 cents on the dollar up to 6% of your salary. If you earn $50,000 annually, contributing, no other investment opportunity can guarantee that kind of return. The key is to contribute just enough to get the full match, then redirect all your extra money back to paying off high-interest debt. Once the debt is gone, you can increase your retirement contributions. This strategy maximizes your guaranteed returns while minimizing the time you're paying high interest rates. There's one important caveat to consider with employer matching. Some companies have vesting schedules that determine how long you need to stay with the company to keep the matching funds. If you don't plan to stay at your current job for very long, make sure you understand the vesting schedule. However, even with vesting requirements, the immediate return from employer matching usually makes it worthwhile. This foundation of an emergency fund, debt elimination, and employer match. Without these pieces in place, everything else you do with investing is essentially building on quicksand. Once you've got those foundational pieces locked down, we move into what I call the tax optimization zone. And this is where things get really interesting. Most people completely mess this up because they get distracted by shiny objects. They skip right to taxable investment accounts when they should be maximizing tax advantage options first. Now, we get to maximizing your individual retirement account. Your IRA gives you far more control over your investment choices and typically comes with much lower fees. Corporate 401k plans are notorious for offering a limited menu of expensive mutual funds. These fees can eat into your returns like termites in a wooden house. With an IRA, you can invest in low-cost index funds and ETFs with minimal fees. Over decodis. Those fee differences can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. It's the difference between keeping your money and slowly losing it to fees. Once you've maxed out your IRA contributions, then you can go back and increase your 401k contributions. You also need to decide between traditional and Roth accounts. Do you want to pay taxes now or later? Traditional accounts give you tax breaks now. Roth accounts give you tax-free withdrawals later, if you're unsure. Splitting between both can give you flexibility. If you have access to an HSA, this is one of the most powerful tools available. It offers triple tax advantages. Contributions are tax-deductible, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free. Over time, this can grow into a massive health care fund. Once you've maximized all tax-advantaged accounts, then you move to taxable investing. This is where you can invest freely in stocks, ETFs, and more. But taxes reduce your overall returns over time. Tax-advantaged accounts are always more efficient first. Taxable accounts are best for flexibility and long-term goals outside retirement. So, there you have it. The optimal order for investing your money. Emergency fund, high-interest debt, employer match, IRA, HSA, 401k, then taxable accounts. Follow this sequence, and you'll build real wealth. Your future self will thank you for doing the boring work first.